We're back then today with another developer stream update for Last Epoch. Now I'll very quickly cover some of the topics we will be running over in this video, and then we'll get into them because I'm feeling pretty rubbish today, so I want to keep this nice and short, this section. But some of the sections we'll be covering here are some of the topics that will be covered. You've got some news and faction rank changes, you've got Cycle 2 content, new classes and masteries, character customization, Forge Guard rework, a ward rework, and also a Transmog system. Now we'll dive in and we'll start breaking it all down, and if you enjoy this, please take time to hit the like, share and subscribe button.
Any plans to address the insane inflation with MG in next cycle? There's a few things that are we want to do for MG and COF next cycle, both regarding like all sorts of things. But I think I'm not sure, but I think that the Lightless Arbor might not be doing a good enough job at tempering inflation, because it should be, situations where people are getting billions and billions and billions of gold, taking some of that gold to the Lightless Arbor hopefully would be a good proposition. Will we have to grind guild rank every cycle because it's I'm over 200 hours and still only rank 9. I've been playing on multiple characters though, so no high corruption farming really. So the faction rank for cycle characters does reset every patch, just like your cycle resets. So it's tied to your stash. It's directly tied to your stash. So whenever your stash resets, your cycle, your faction progress resets. With regards to the cycle grind and getting up higher ranks every cycle, we are making some adjustments to how cycle, or to how the rate that factions increase at, the rate that factions rank up at, things like that. There are some adjustments we're tweaking with those, like what you get at each rank. We're looking at these, the way you progress through the ranks and what the ranks give you for both factions. It's something that we are actively discussing right now, because I think that it's a really easy is the wrong word, but a really readily available, high impact way we can. The impact to effort ratio is really good on changing how the ranks progress and what you get out of the ranks. And user getting 1.1 is coming. So our rough cadence is roughly similar to what PoE does, in that 3 to 4 month range, adjusting for how big the content is coming, adjusting for what other games are releasing content around those times, things like that. And we're still planning on having that roughly similar time frame, but I don't have any specifics yet. Is there going to be cycle specific additions, or is it going to be just used as a reset? If that's the case, Legacy in the long run is going to be the better option if cycle offers nothing new. We do want to transition into, slowly move towards having more and more unique things in cycles. A lot of the things that we have planned for early cycles, specifically 1.1 here, is something that we feel is so important to the game that we really want to add that primary system everywhere right away. So the pinnacle bosses will get added to Legacy. I believe this is still the plan. Little asterisk here being like, Mike might be crazy. That the pinnacle content will still get added directly to Legacy at the same time as it gets released with the cycle content. But there are things, like, this is not a blanket universal thing that we're gonna do forever. We do still plan to have cycle specific content as we go forward. But any rumors or set plans for more classes and subclasses? Well, I can tell you that we're definitely going to be adding more classes and subclasses. I can tell you that we will not be adding more classes or subclasses in 1.1 or 1.2 even. probably even 1.3. There are adding a subclass is way easier, both from a design perspective and from a dev time requirement perspective than adding a full new base class. Full new base classes come with all sorts of extra fun things like full animation suites that like if you add another mastery to rogue, let's say, and you added a basic melee attack, like you can use a bunch of animations or variants of animations that already exist. But if you're doing a fresh class, it's fresh animations for everything. So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot more that goes into a base class than a mastery class. Also, a base class needs all those extra mastery classes as well. So it's we do have plans for more base classes long term, but it'll be quite a while before more base classes happen. We do have specific masteries planned for specific classes in the game. Like I think I know what the first new mastery will be in the game, and I think I know what the first new mastery for each base class will be at this point. Kind of guessing on a couple of them. I have a pretty good idea. So like, it's stuff that like it's in our design discussions. It's in our like it's something that we are paying attention to, all that sort of stuff. But it is it's a ways out still. We really want to dig into the existing classes and really make them shine first. Is character appearance modification in 1.1? No, we have. So this is the character customization is a relatively frequently asked about feature, and it is something that we do plan to add eventually to the game. It is not something that we are actively working on right now. It is not going to be available in 1.1. I would be shocked if it was available in 1.2 even. Will Forge Guard be reworked? It's the baddest subclass from all. We do have we're always looking at updating things. I don't have specific details on any upcoming balance fixes or changes or anything like that. Reworked, I find reworked a troubling word because I really like the mechanical options and the thematic presentation of Forge Guard. All these things I really like a ton. And I think there's some key issues in like node compatibility and like node skill and item compatibility that without changing anything other than just like making those be more compatible, I think like suddenly the class would become crazy fun and really powerful like overnight. Like without changing anything other than just like making more uniques work with the like manifest armor and manifest weapons, and just other abilities too that need more compatibility. Like I feel like it would be a day and night from that. Like we wouldn't have to like change anything else. Ooh, more correct for this. So that's where I'd personally focus my attention. It wouldn't include changing anything really, other than just like making stuff work that doesn't work right now. That isn't supposed to work right now, but would be really cool if it did. Any ETA on cosmetics like trails when walking and stuff of that sort? There are more cosmetics coming. They just added a new cosmetic category. I think to fulfill some very old supporter pack promises. They'll be coming 1.1. Specifically the ones you mentioned, I don't know. But we are working on adding more cosmetics slowly. It's one of those things that's gonna like every patch there's gonna be like a few more and a few more and a few more. You planning to rework word? I think that like rework's not a dirty word or anything, but like I think it's a dangerous word that sets expectations on the scale of certain things sometimes. Ward is in 99% of cases fantastic. There are some really standout issues with extreme cases of ward generation that need to be addressed without ruining earlier stages of said ward progression. I think that there is a lot of room for improvement with ward, especially in that top end competitive environment, and we do have very targeted adjustments planned for ward for 1.1 that will the goal of it is to bring down the insanely high maximum potential of ward, while still rewarding players for building ward and still having it be a very powerful defensive option. So it's more of just getting those really, really extreme cases reeled in from being quite so extreme. I guess is the goal of the changes we'd like to make. But like a full rework feels like I don't think we're planning on changing. Like when you go over here and you like read the description that ward has, and you go to the game guide and you look at ward and you read this stuff, like apart from this formula, probably not much of it will change. All right, I'm not sure if this has been asked. It's okay, but are we going to have inspect player option? I like the items and stuff. Yes? Question mark. I think we decided to do this, but have a way you can make it so you can block people, I think is what we landed on in the end. We'll go with maybe for now. Alright, can we expect a transmog system in the near future? Not specifically near future necessarily. We have plans to do it. I don't have details on it, sorry. When will you remove adaptive damage reduction? I find it this is the adaptive boss DR. I find it extremely annoying that I'm being limited by some BS mechanic rather than the quality of my gear and my skill. We're don't know what I'm allowed to say here. More info eventually. I don't know. There's info on this that I may or may not be allowed to share, and I don't know, so I'm going to be cautious and not say anything. But we are replacing that system. Is it intended that higher corruption equals lower chance of getting LP on uniques? That's not. The way you've worded this question implies that this is a true statement. This is not a true statement, so it is not intended for that to happen because it doesn't happen. There were a couple reports of this happening recently. I'll address it right now. There were a couple reports of this happening that got some attention recently on socials and stuff like that. The data was at best inconclusive, but the data actually supported, from what I can see, I didn't look through all the data, but the data I saw supported that more corruption is actually better. It was the follow-up data that was like, if you kept reading, there was more data and you're like, oh, more corruption is better. So we went and did a bunch of tests on it, and I'm very confident in saying that more corruption equals better gear, better loot, better drops, more LP, all that sort of stuff. Corruption does help. Yeah. The sample size we did it with was several orders of magnitude larger than the sample size that was in those threads as well. Are there any plans to show more detailed description of abilities? For instance, show how much overall ignite chance ability has, or how much time rot chance my character has, etc. Thanks for your answer. Yes, we do plan to have an expanded character sheet. Is the plan here? So we've the character sheet. We do have a bit of an overhaul. The top little section of it, this little bit, got redone at 1.0, and that's the. You can tell like the colored words compared to these words. Like you can tell there's like a clear style shift from like the top little bit of the panel to everything else. So this is a preview of what that update's gonna look like.